Hi, my name is Heather Hooper. I am a sixth grade educator in Central Indiana, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today is the first day of school. I'm so excited. I love the first day of school. I didn't used to, but as I've gotten older, I really enjoy it. Especially this year. Like, I don't have to go over all the procedures like I normally would because I've had so many of the kids, and if I didn't have them, they know me, so it will just be like minor procedures of like how to turn things in. But I don't need to worry about like them understanding the type of person I am, so that's amazing. But let me show you around my room so that you can see the final reveal, I guess. Let me turn you around. Okay, so when you come in my door, this is the view that you see. Okay, and so when you come in, the first thing we see, this is kind of like my student center. So this right here is where I put papers out that students need each class period. And as they walk in, they will grab their papers because I refuse to pass out papers unless I just forget or I'm running behind. It causes too many disruptions. It gives downtime that the kids do not need because that causes behaviors. So just some class rules. Are you really done? I mean, they'll look at that for a short time. But my attendance, my date, my schedule, my attendance, I hate. I need some black electrical tape, and I forgot to bring it, and I needed that ready for today, and this is totally not straight. But that's okay because it's coming down. I got these magnets on Amazon so that they can move their magnet to their school lunch. So that does my attendance and my lunch account or lunch count, and then my schedule. So down here is inside recess. We only have like 10 or 15 minutes of recess, so I doubt they'll get that out much, but it's just little building things and stuff like that. So minor things, but they can get their pencils, an expo if they need it, some sticky notes, erasers or what's in there, and then just a stapler and some tape. So extra pens, first aid, and some lotion. Over here in my door is where, I keep hand sanitizer, Kleenex, and Lysol wipes. So I have a few more things that I need to work on before the kids get here. You already saw me getting ready some headers for over here that I had forgotten about. So I'm gonna go through my slides, make sure I am ready one more time. I do have a little teaching station over here that's up by the board that is on wheels, and so I can wheel around and be anywhere in the room, stand next to those kids that need the extra adult supervision. So anyway, I am going to get a few things done, and I will check in with you a little bit later. All right, so my kids are at specials. We've had a great start to the day. So just a lot of going over procedures for my classrooms and my expectations, because a lot of the kids know me since we're looping up, but they weren't necessarily in my class. So we have gotten that done. Now we are at specials, like I said, and then they go straight to lunch. So that's nice that I have those back to back and have that big chunk. I do have to stop to take them from specials to lunch, but that is it. So that break will be nice. And then we come back and they're gonna do the rotations again because we're doing them shortened just so they can practice it one more time. So another half-hour rotation. I'm gonna do a fair versus equal lesson with 2 of my classes, and then my homeroom class will not get that lesson. Maybe I can fit it in later this week, but they are going to they have the band teacher and choir teacher coming over to talk to them, because at the end of the day, that is what they will normally be doing, with a few kids having study hall that need that extra time. That need that extra time because they work slower or have the special needs or whatever. So that is what we are doing. We haven't really done much besides that because I had them for a half hour, so that's not that long by the time I talk about what I need them to do in here. So we did look at the textbook and the different units that are in there. My homeroom class did have a few extra minutes in here, so they're coloring like name pages or whatever that I had bought on Teachers Pay Teachers. And so it has different designs, and then they color their name in. And so I told they had two because they also have a binder. So I had them color one. If they wanted to color two, they could color them. Otherwise, they at least have their name in it. So I don't care. That's up to them. So that's what they worked on and chatted and then caught up with their friends. And I have one new student, so they're introducing themselves to her, and so that's kind of nice. So I am about to go get them from special and take them to lunch, and I'm finally gonna get something to eat because I'm starving. So I will catch you guys up after school. All right, so the last time I checked in with you was in the middle of the day during lunch and specials. We ended up meeting with our class again. We switched again, so they had another time to practice the rotation and practicing the 5 minutes in between if they need to use the restroom or forgot something in the classroom and that kind of thing. So that was good time. So we got that down, I think. And so we finished, what we did in that half hour was I did like a fair versus equal, like a fairness lesson. Because 6th graders, 5th graders, and I assume 6th graders from back in the day it is, but they are famous for saying, but that's not fair. That's not fair. So I read Fair is Fair. And so this is a cute book. It's about a zookeeper who takes care of her animals, and she gives the hare a small handful of feed, and then the giraffe gets like a bucket full, and he gets like a dumpster full or something. I can't remember what it is. And they decide that that's not fair because they should all be getting the same amount. And so they decide when she gives them the food that they are going to separate their food out so everybody has the same amount. And the hare doesn't eat very much, and so he has this large amount of food left over. And the giraffe doesn't eat as much as the elephant, and he has food left over. But the elephant is still hungry, and he's walking around hungry and grumpy. And the zookeeper is like, what is happening here? And the elephant is like, she was like, no, like, I love you all the same. They're all upset. So she's like, no, I love you all the same. And so they go back to splitting up the food, and everything's good. So, this was great. I wasn't sure if they would like it or not. They seemed okay with it. But it was a good lesson for us to talk about because some of them don't understand fairness and don't want to think about that. And we talked about fairness with like my time as a teacher. Like, is it fair for everybody to get the same amount of time? Or is it fair that some kids get more of my time than others? And so that one made them stop and think, and they realized that some people do need more time. And so then we go into the conversation as well that, you can't go home telling your parents that you don't get my time, because everybody gets some of my time, but you may not get it all. So you can't go home when you fail something and they're like, why aren't you getting better grades? You can't be like, she never gives me any time. No, that's not going to work. You can't use me as an excuse in how I have to do my job, because if you ask questions and you advocate for yourself, you get that time. So it's a big, long conversation that we get into. We talk about special needs kids and how they get more time because they need more. I don't use the word special needs. I just say, some students need extra time. And so that goes into a big, long thing. We also talked about like time on a test. Because I've had kids go home and be like, well, I didn't have enough time to finish it, and other people get extra time. And so that's a big conversation we have, how most people have the exact same time, and there are a few people that get more time, and that's because they need it for specific reasons. So it was a very good conversation, and I'll probably continue to do that one every year. Now what I'm doing is I am planning for tomorrow. I already had like my lesson done, but then I realized, wait, I'm gonna need a little bit more, and I didn't have my slides done. So that's what I'm working on, because I have nothing. If you've been here before, you know I teach everything through slides, every question, every answer, if I want the answers on there, book covers, everything is in there. And then next year I just have to pull those slides and get them ready. And it's so much nicer, but it is a ton of work up front. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of work up front. So I am working on that. Tomorrow we're going to do an active listener lesson. And so we're going to read The Rabbit Listened. And then we are going to talk about what the theme or the message of the book is. And then we are going to work with partners, and they are getting... I just saw that I had sticky notes in here, and I'm not sure why. I can't remember, because they're going to get this and they're going to use a highlighter. Maybe I'll come up with an exit question, but they're going to use a highlighter and they're going to read. I have 7 different scenarios, and they're going to read to find out if the person in this is being an active listener or not, and they have to find the evidence, and they're going to highlight the evidence to prove yes or no. And then we're going to have conversations about that. After we read the book, we're going to talk about what active listening looks like, but then we're going to go into that activity. I must have updated Google Slides, because like sometimes it pops up and sometimes it doesn't, like when it's in the center, and it's driving me nuts. I want the red line back. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. Now there's these extra blue lines. I don't know, but that's annoying. So I put that in, and they're going to do that together. Then we're going to read them and talk about them and decide together as a class, and they can see if they were right or if they were wrong. So that is what we are going to do with that. If we have extra time, because some of these kids like to talk. So if we have extra time, they are going to do like an all about me. I know like the students I had last year, but I don't know the others in the sense as I don't know what they like, how they learn, all those things. I just know them from talking about them with the other teacher or seeing them in the hallway or in passing. So we may have time for this, we may not. We might get started on it and not finish it. I don't know, but it will be my time filler that gives me some information. But if I don't get that information, it'll be okay. I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, so it is a Friday. Our first school week has just 3 days, so we kind of do get to know you activities, all that kind of thing. But if you didn't know, and I don't think I said it at the beginning of this video, I am switching from 5th grade to 6th grade, so I already know these students. So I have a lot of new planning to do. Today, what we are going to do is we are going to read 7 rules you absolutely must break if you want to survive the cafeteria. Let me grab the book and show you what it looks like. All right, so here is the book. It's a super cute book. It's about a kid who is in 6th grade. I think it's more of the middle school setting. I'm in an elementary setting, but it's fine. And he's never had to buy a lunch before. And so the girl on the bus gives him rules that he must follow in order for his cafeteria experience to be successful. And he breaks every single rule. And so we're gonna read this, and then we're gonna do like the courage scale. So this AI helped me to develop this. I am not super creative, but I can usually have an idea. That's where AI is scary, and I don't particularly like it for a lot of things. But when I have this idea in my head and I just have a hard time coming up with what I want to do with that, AI has been great. So, but what they're going to do is they're going to stand in they're going to get up and they're going to be moving around. So I'm going to give them a different, what if this was a rule? Is it going to be something that is easy, or is it difficult for you? And the whole point of this is to see that some things are easy for people and some things are difficult for people. And it's just good discussion rules that we can talk about. So it might be sitting next to somebody that you don't know well, or to share an idea during a class discussion, or to wear something you really like, even if it's different. But I have all kinds, I have like 3 pages of rules that we can do for that. We obviously will not do them all. But that is that activity, and I think it will bring many conversations that we can have. So I will be laminating this morning. When we finish that, we will be doing first aid Jeopardy. So it's, my different categories are classroom procedures, technology, about your teacher, would you rather, and why, because there's no wrong answer, but they do have to explain themselves or they don't get the points, and then riddles. So we'll play that. If there's extra time after that, we're gonna do a roll and tell. I probably showed this in my last video, but this is something that I got from Canva that was already made. And so it's like, what is your yummiest meal that you ever had? What is something that you're really good at? If you were a teacher, what would you teach? Those kinds of things. And then they can switch partners if I need it to last longer, as many times as needed. So that's what we're doing today. Right now, I'm going to laminate a couple of things, and then I think I'm gonna start planning for next week. I need to get some copies done. I need to do the DIBELS testing for 6th grade, so that's a maze reading for comprehension, and it is also words per minute for each student. And so I'll probably do some type of book, probably geared towards SEL, or if I can find something more towards reading, I don't know. But we'll do a lesson like that, and then the rest of the time they will silent read while I test. So that's what I'm gonna do this morning. I'll check in with you later. All right, so it's actually after school now. Too busy during lunch to get things done and trying to eat at the same time because it's the beginning of the school year. So, but that's okay. We had a great day today. The kids loved doing like the scale of where they fell on the line of something that's easy and hard. After reading the book about rules in the cafeteria, I gave them make-believe rules to kind of turn it into an SEL lesson. So like if they were made to sit with somebody they didn't know, if that was a rule, every day you had to sit with somebody else that you didn't know, would that be easy or hard for you? So it was stuff like that. So that was a good time, and they really enjoyed that. And then we played a Jeopardy game that I broke up into groups, but after I started it, I don't know why I didn't notice this before, but it was just for 2 groups. And so it'd be like, give the other team. And they'd be like, what does it mean the other team says? Just like, give it to everybody, take it away from everybody. So I need to kind of adapt that the next time I use it, if I use more than 1 team. But we had a really good day, a really good 3 days. The kids that didn't get to know me, they're getting to know me. My kids that I already had, it's been good to work with them again and talk to them and catch up with them. So now I'm working on classroom jobs. So I got to get that done. I need to get my seating charts done, and I need to get lesson plans done. I need to get testing copies done. And we have a back to school carnival tonight, and I signed up to work from 5 to 6. So the kids love to see you at things like that. And so I will be working a game, I think, from 5 to 6. So that is our 3 days this week. And I thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm working on building this channel up, so share it with other teachers. And ask them to subscribe for me just to help me out. All right, so thank you, and make sure that you come back for the next one.